83% of Americans are hiding something about their finances. And I know this because they tell the truth only when they think nobody's watching. What they search in private browsing mode is completely different from what they search publicly, and when you look at the actual data, it reveals something disturbing about what we're all pretending to be versus what we actually are. I'm Alex Mercer, and today we're diving into the anonymous data that reveals our real financial lives, the ones we hide from our spouses, our friends, and sometimes even ourselves. Because here's the thing, what you're ashamed of financially, it's not special, it's statistically normal, and understanding that might be the most valuable financial insight you get this year. Let's start with what the data actually shows. A 2023 study analyzing anonymized search patterns found that financial queries in private browsing mode were 4 times more likely to involve debt, bankruptcy, and account overdrafts than regular searches. 4 times. Public searches, dominated by investment strategies, retirement planning, budgeting apps, the aspirational stuff. Think about what that means. We're publicly searching for how to build wealth while privately Googling whether we can afford groceries until payday. This isn't a small subset of people. This is the majority of us performing a financial theater for an audience that's also performing the same theater right back at us. And here's where it gets psychologically interesting. Financial services company Credit Karma found that 62% of Americans admit they lie about their financial situation and to friends and family. 62%. We're not talking about exaggerating success. We're talking about active deception about debt levels, savings, whether we can actually afford our lifestyle. But when those same people were surveyed anonymously, their actual financial situations were remarkably similar to the people they were lying to. Everyone's pretending to be doing better than they are, to an audience that's also pretending. It's financial theater all the way down. Now let's get specific, because this is where it gets really illuminating. According to anonymized financial app data, here are the top private searches that people won't do on their main browser. Number 1, is $500 in savings enough? Number 2, how to hide purchases from spouse? Number 3, normal credit card debt for my age? Number 4, can't afford Christmas presents. These aren't niche anxieties. Each of these searches has millions of queries per year. Millions! And what's fascinating is the pattern in the questions themselves. They're not asking how to get rich. They're asking if their failure to get rich is normal. They're seeking permission to be average in an economy that's made average feel like failure. Here's one that stopped me cold. Is it normal to cry about money? Gets over 50,000 private searches per month. 50,000 people per month are so ashamed of their emotional response to financial stress that they won't even ask that question publicly. They need the anonymity of private browsing just to ask if their pain is valid. And this connects to something economists don't talk about, but psychologists do. Financial shame has almost zero correlation with actual financial status. People making 6 figures are just as likely to experience financial shame as people making 40,000. Because shame isn't about the numbers, it's about the gap between where you are and where you think you're supposed to be. This gap has been weaponized by social media in ways that are genuinely damaging mental health at scale. A University of Michigan study found that every hour spent on Instagram correlates with a 12% increase in financial anxiety, regardless of actual financial circumstances. Not because Instagram makes you poorer, because it recalibrates what normal looks like. You're seeing the highlight reel of everyone's financial life. The vacations, the purchases, the lifestyle, and your brain is doing math it wasn't designed to do, comparing your entire financial reality to curated fragments of thousands of other people's best moments. It's a cognitive game you literally cannot win. And the private browsing data reflects this perfectly. Searches for how to afford, followed by a luxury item spike in the evenings and weekends. Exactly when people are scrolling social media, we're seeing things, wanting them, feeling ashamed we can't afford them, and then privately Googling whether we're failures because a vacation to Bali isn't in our budget. Here's the part that should make you angry. The median American household has $21,000 in savings. The median. Half of households have less than that, but social media makes it feel like everyone except you has 6 months of expenses saved, an investment portfolio, and passive income streams. It's statistical gaslighting. Now let's talk about the secrets we keep from the people we share a bed with, because this is where private browsing data gets really dark. Financial infidelity, hiding purchases or debt from a partner, affects approximately 41% of American adults who are in committed relationships. Not 4%, 41%. The most common private searches in this category aren't about huge sums. They're things like how to hide $50 purchase, separate bank account without spouse knowing. Is it normal to have secret credit card? These are small deceptions that create massive psychological weight. And here's what the research shows. Financial infidelity is the second leading cause of divorce in the United States, right after regular infidelity, because it's not really about the money. It's about trust, communication, and the fact that money is the last taboo topic in relationships where we're supposedly sharing everything else. But let's zoom out for a second, because there's a structural reason this is happening. We live in an economy where 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including 10% of those making over $100,000. When the system makes financial stability this precarious, secrets become survival mechanisms. You're not broken. The pressure is just enormous. So let's recalibrate what normal actually is, using actual data instead of social media fiction. The average American has $29,000 in debt, excluding mortgages. The average credit score is 716, which is good, but not excellent. 56% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency with savings. These aren't moral failings. These are statistics. And if you're anywhere in these ranges, you're not falling behind. You're literally average in an economy designed to make average feel insufficient, so you'll keep consuming and taking on debt to close a gap that's manufactured. Here's another reality check. 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation. 90% lose it by the third. Generational wealth is the exception, not the rule. Building from scratch isn't your personal failure. It's the actual normal human experience across history. And retirement? 64% of Americans say they're behind on retirement savings, which means if you feel behind, you're in the majority. The system has made the math nearly impossible for most people, and then sold you the story that it's your individual responsibility to solve a systemic problem. So how do we actually use this information? Because awareness without action is just sophisticated procrastination. First, recognize that financial shame is primarily a social emotion, not a practical one. It exists in the gap between your reality and what you believe others expect. And most of what you believe others expect is fiction. Start with one person. Find one real human being you can have an honest financial conversation with, where you both agree to drop the performance. Research shows that having even one authentic financial relationship reduces financial anxiety by 38%. 38% from a single honest conversation. Second, audit your information diet. If consuming financial content makes you feel consistently worse about your situation without providing actionable steps forward, that content is functioning as entertainment, not education. It's designed to keep you watching, not to help you improve. And third, separate systemic problems from personal problems. You cannot budget your way out of stagnant wages, housing costs that have outpaced income growth for 40 years, and healthcare costs that bankrupt families. Those are policy problems disguised as personal responsibility problems. Your personal financial decisions matter, but they're happening inside a system with enormous structural pressure. Recognizing that doesn't mean giving up. It means directing your energy toward things you can actually control instead of drowning in shame about things you can't. If this perspective was valuable, do me a favor and hit subscribe. Drop a comment with one financial secret you've been carrying that you're willing to share anonymously. I'm willing to bet you'll find dozens of people responding with "me too." Sometimes that's all it takes to break the isolation. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is psychological and cultural analysis of financial behavior. For personalized financial guidance, consult with a certified financial professional. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.